Chef here. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a special we're having, and it is called Start with Savings Special. It's a special we're having at Stampin' Up! If you join my team. I'm going to explain some sample products you can put in your kit. I've created this list for you. Let me just so I don't overwhelm you, I'm going to start with the topic. I'm going to go over sample products you can put in your starter kit, and then we're going to create a simple card using the products from your sample starter kit. Of course, keep in mind you can build a starter kit with whichever products you'd like. But I thought that it would be fun to focus on Eden's Garden Collection because it's something new. All right, so it's always a good deal to join Stampin' Up! It's $99 normally, and you can pick out $125 worth of items. And you can put anything you want from our holiday catalog or our annual catalog into your starter kit. If you have any questions, I'm going to be reading the comments as you come in, and I will be answering them and addressing them in this video. So it's always a great deal, but this time it's even a better deal. And I've been a demonstrator for over 5 years, and I've never seen the special become like this price ever. I've seen it where we add extra things to the $99. Like you would spend, it's always $99, and I've seen them say, hey, if you join, you get an extra bundle, or if you join, you get extra ink. But this is the first time I've seen the starter kit become this low of a price. And I don't know if you could see this, but I'm going to read this because it's Stampin' Up's promotional materials, and then I want to just get into my benefits of joining my team in particular. So I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. That means that if I sell something from Stampin' Up!, like even if you didn't join my team and you were to buy this stamp set, which I'll tell you about, then I would make a commission. So that's how independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators make their money is from commissions. And if you subscribe to my paper pumpkin, which I'm going to explain a little bit about what that is in a little bit, then I would get a very small commission, but it's kind of it's a good thing, and it adds up if I get a lot of subscribers. But the best thing about being a demonstrator is the camaraderie of my team and my friends that I meet, and of course getting a discount for myself. So I'm my own best customer. So I buy more than any of my customers ever buy. And I mean, as far as I buy more than any one customer because I like to use the products myself. So whether you want to join and make it a business, for the first few years I didn't even think about it really making it a business, and I just kind of in the last couple of years sort of making it into my full-time business. But if you want to just join for the discount and then that's it, and craft along with me and get a discount on the products, get a discount on your paper pumpkin subscription, then you be called sort of a hobby demo. You don't have to call yourself a hobby demo, but that's what the kind of term is. All right, so it starts out with this. It says, jump for join. There's no better time than November to begin your Stampin' Up! Business. Why? If you sign up to be an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator before the end of the month, you'll get the $99 starter kit filled with your pick of products for only $75. Start your Stampin' Up! Business strong with big savings. Okay, enjoy early access to our amazing products, exclusive perks, an opportunity to earn additional income, and an incredible community of crafters, which is really the best, really. And we get to go to events too. Whether you want to make the most of your paper crafting passion or build a business, there's so much in store for you with Stampin' Up! Okay, so I wanted to read their marketing materials because I'm sure they're better than mine. But this is what I came up with. This is Paper Chef's sample starter kit. So I'm thinking that it would be great right now, especially because some of the Eden's Garden collection is while supplies last. So I thought, if you want this new collection, it's a great thing to just make your starter kit. Put it in your starter kit because it's $82.50, and I'm going to show you the whole collection. Some of it you can get later, but some of it's while supplies last, so why not put it in your collection? Okay, before I get into all that, I'll tell you the other items, and then I'll get back to the Eden's Garden. I think this is something that everybody should have at some point, and if you don't already have it, it's thick, basic white cardstock. It's great to stamp directly onto, and we're going to make cards just by making a simple card, or we might make a couple at the same time, just by stamping directly onto thick, basic white cardstock. If you use the thin cardstock, it's good for stamping and making layers, but the thick one is card quality. It's even a better quality than the cardstock that comes in your paper pumpkin kits. So it's strong and it's a nice card, and you can just it's ready to go. So that's thick basic white cardstock. Evening Evergreen ink is going to coordinate with the Eden's Garden. So that's the only color we need for this. And this is, I stamped the sentiment in Evening Evergreen, and then I stamped off, meaning I stamped onto a piece of scrap paper and then stamped these little twigs in there. Clear block D. The reason I picked clear block D, it's a good block that'll fit your largest sentiment or your largest item, which is this nice big flower. So if you get clear block D and you tilt this a little bit, you can fit every stamp on this clear block. So this is a good thing if you're just getting started out, to get clear block D. A silicone craft sheet is a must for crafters. It really is good for making any table that's a little bit rough flatter, and give you a little cushion for stamping, and you'll get better stamped images. And then seal plus adhesive. Honestly, I don't like the regular seal. I'm not very good at using it either, but I do love the seal plus, and I use it all the time. So I think that would make a good addition to your starter kit. Seal plus adhesive. And I'm going to show you why, because when we use it, there's little ridges on it. So altogether, if you were to get all the items I was telling you about that I'm suggesting, but of course you can get whatever you want, it would cost you $124.75. And I did this in my spreadsheet, in my Google Sheet. Your shipping would cost you 10%, because that's what our shipping is when you order things at Stampin' Up. The shipping costs 10%. So your shipping would cost you $12.48. And your total when you check out, and this does not count your tax in your state, because I can't do that, right? That depends on your state. Some states don't have tax, woohoo! But sales tax I'm talking about. But when you get to the total, it would be like approximately $137.23. But if you did all this, what I'm suggesting, it would only cost you $75 and free shipping. So you would save, just by using my suggested starter kit, $62.23. So like if I could join again, I would. That's how much this deal is. Like that's how good this deal is. But we can't join again if we're already active demonstrators. Unless you're a past demonstrator, of course you could. So I'm going to leave that there if you want to take a screenshot. A screenshot with your phone is pressing, if you have an iPhone, you press the top button, and you know the one where you turn it off and on, and then you press that little button down in the middle, so where my fingers are, and go click, and you can take a screenshot. Or if it's turned the other way, it would be click. It depends on how your phone is turned. All right, or you could just rewind and go back to that. So now, what is the collection? Okay, now, even if you don't have a die cutting machine yet, I'm going to also give you a different idea for a starter kit. The collection comes with dies, and even if you don't have the machine now, I could talk about how to get the machine instead of getting this whole collection. But this is what you would get in the Eden's Garden collection, these Eden dies. Later in the video, after we make our simple card using our supplies, I'm going to show you cards I've created using things that I've cut out with these metal dies. Okay, so you get 5 dies. They don't cut out the sentiments themselves, but you could use this to put a sentiment right onto. But I just used white cardstock or just stamp directly onto the card for my sentiments. This works really good with when you cut out the designer series paper, or when you cut out gold foil and things like that. So there are the dies. You get the stamp set. It's a cling stamp set, and it's called distinctive stamping. Distinctive stamping means that the shading is built into the stamp set. So it looks like you've done all kinds of shading and coloring, even though it's just one stamp. Okay, let me zoom back out. The rest of the collection, there are some gems. And there's paper and there's cotton paper. Let me find the gems. Okay, here are gems. They're called garden gems. And then you get cherry cobbler and soft succulent gems. And I'll show you how I use those on cards later. I didn't even use them on the very simple card, but I'll show you how I used them later. We can use them to bling up. And then there's cotton paper. This cotton paper is kind of like tissue paper. It's like the thickness of tissue paper. But what's really nice about it, there's a shiny side, and there is a sort of like a dull side, and you have evening evergreen and soft succulent. So what's nice about it is these colors coordinate with your designer series paper. So you can do things with this, like your packaging. And later I'll show you my cards that I created in my last tutorial called Ink It Up. I did an Ink It Up tutorial where we stamped right onto that cotton paper. And I showed you 2 cards in that video. We made a card in the video, and I also made more cards since then. Okay, and then of course, the thing that you gotta love about the Eden's Garden collection, and what I love the most about it, is the designer series paper. That's what I love most about this collection. And I'm hoarding it because this will be featured in my next series. Okay, so I don't know how good my lighting is. Okay, but I hope you can see these really cool patterns. In a pack of 12, in a pack you'll get 12 sheets, I should say, of 12 by 12 Eden's Garden paper. Here's an ombre effect with the soft succulent going down to the evening evergreen. And then these have flecks of gold. Each paper has flecks of, it's foiled paper. So at least one side of every sheet has this foiling in it. There you go, that's a better angle. I have to kind of look at the camera, my tippy toes sometimes to see what you guys can see. Okay, here's another piece of the design. And there's some better foiling there on this one. This sheet is kind of like, reminds me of grunge or splatter. And I do the splatter technique in some of my videos where you can use the spritzer, the little Stampin' spritzer, the little spray bottle, spray the ink around. It looks like they did that. And there's the other side. This paper, although it already has some evening evergreen specks in it, I think it'd be nice to color as well with the blending brushes. And then here's the other side of that. So this is going to be good year round, and it's a nice nature theme. So it's nice designer series paper. If you've already have it, if you're already a demonstrator, stick around because we're going to craft in this video as well. You can create with it. You just get an idea for simple cards to make with this. Okay, this collection. This is my favorite sheet of the whole collection. Okay, so that's the collection. So these dies are going to be available in the next catalog because our next catalog is launching in January. They're called Eden Dies. And so will the stamp set. So whenever you buy just the dies, if you want to get just the dies and the stamps, that's a bundle and you save 10% when you buy the stamps and bundle together. These will be available up until like May of 2022. So you have plenty of time to get that. But this paper, these garden gems, and the cotton paper I showed you are only available while supplies last. All right, so moving along, what I want to do is I want to take these and not use these. I want to use the ones that I already started cutting up for this tutorial, but I just want to move along and show you what else you get in your starter kit. So that was the paper I was talking about with the items I picked out. But Stampin' Up! Gives you other items. They give you a case of catalogs. They give you a case just like this. It's not a case. It's not in a case. It's just in a pack. So you get here, July to December mini catalog. So if you join any time before this catalog is up, they're going to send you 8 of these. So you can use those to market. You know, you put your information on here. And this is our holiday catalog. And this is also what you can pick from. You can pick any items from here in your starter kit. And then you're going to get a case of annual catalogs. I believe there's 8 in the case of annual catalogs. So you'll get those too. I think I ran out of those. So if anybody's requested those, I haven't got those to you yet. Okay, they're going to give you 1 past paper pumpkin kit in a box, and it's going to be an all-inclusive kit, and you're going to be able to make crafts with it. So this is just an old one. I'm just going to show you an old one, but keep in mind, and I have to say this like more than once because you're going to think, oh, do I get that? No, you're not getting this. This is called layered leaves, okay? I don't know what you're getting as your paper pumpkin kit. I'm just showing you what one looks like. Dun, dun, dun. We used to have this really cool pumpkin things inside, so I saved that. It says, thank you for subscribing. And this was this was like a fall pillow box one from a couple years ago. The next one's packaging as well. And I was able to get some refills for this. So only Paper Pumpkin subscribers can get refills. So you might want to also become a subscriber. This is just such a cool kit with all these really cool leaf stickers. But next month's going to be called Gifts Galore. And it's about it has like snowmen on it, and it's a packaging kit. And it's going to contain 9 packages. All Paper Pumpkin kits come with a stamp set, an all-inclusive stamp set. all the supplies to make things, and you're either going to get card kits or packaging kits each month. But just because you join Stampin' Up! Does not mean you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin. I'm just telling you that they're going to give you a past Paper Pumpkin kit and other business supplies. All right, so I'll talk about the benefits of joining my team as I craft with you. But there are many, and I'm going to even refer to my own notes. So, of course, this kit is the only time you get free shipping. That's one question I get asked a lot. Some people ask, oh, do you get free shipping all the time? And I said, no, only on, you only get free shipping on the starter kit, not all the time. So if you have any questions, fire away. And what I want to do is just before I go on, and I need to just move something to my table, I'm going to move it off, there's another idea. If you want to keep a starter kit really simple, you just want to do something really simple. You could just get this machine. Say you've always wanted this machine, but you're like, oh, this machine. Here, let me raise this up. You're like, oh, I want that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to raise my camera up here. And you're like, oh, I really want it, but it's $120. Well, this is the time to get it for $75, right? This could be your starter kit. It would be this machine with all the plates that come in the machine. It's heavy-duty machine, heavy-duty Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And if you do that for $120 and a pack of dimensionals, which are $4 or $5, you will go up to $120 or $124. You can't go over. You can't be more than $125. So this is another idea for a starter kit. These two items. And then you're going to get it for $75 and free shipping. Okay, so that's the time to get that machine. Or now's the time. If you were thinking about getting that machine, put that in your starter kit. Free shipping on it. Okay, let me lower this down. I hope that makes sense. Those were two ideas for your starter kits, but you can do whatever you want with your starter kit. So now what I want to do is take a piece of basic white cardstock out of the pack, and I'm just going to show you how to make a card real quick. We make 2 cards at once. So to make 2 cards at once, what I like to do with the 8.5 by 11 paper before I cut it is I like to score it. And because my card is going to be vertical, I'm a visual person here. I just need to show you this. So I'm going to lay this paper horizontally because my cards are going to be vertical. So you're saying, oh, that doesn't make sense, right? Well, it will when I open up my card to show you. Okay? I'm going to put my paper horizontal because my card is vertical. Why? Because the card is like this. It is an 11-inch long piece of paper by 5.5. By 5.5 tall. Okay? Or I'm sorry, it's going to be 5.5 tall, right? The card is, and it's going to be only 4.25 wide. So it's going to be an A2 card, 5.5 by 4.25. But it's going to be 4.25 by 11 because we're going to score the 11.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I'm going to score it at the 5.5 mark because I want vertical cards. See that score line? And what I like to do is that's a valley. I went down into the valley, and then what I do is I fold it up like that. That's my mountain. Okay, so I'm going to fold it up. So even though I scored down, I'm going to fold it up, but not until I cut it. Okay, so I can get 2 cards out of each 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So let's go do the math. If you get the thick basic white cardstock, that's 48 cards you're going to make. People ask me all the time, can't you just buy card bases? Not really. Not in the A2 style. Not your basic cards. You can buy note cards. You can buy memories and more card packs and envelopes. But this A2 style card, you have to make them yourself. And that's why you get our cardstock, you know. So I'm going to just use the trimmer to cut this. And I'm going to cut it 4.25. And later I will put I'll put these measurements in the description of the video. So all I'm doing is I'm trimming this paper so that it's 4.25. So now I have 2 cards. I'm going to get rid of my trimmer for a second. We're going to use it again for the designer series paper. See, I have 2 cards out of 1 piece of cardstock. So if you get 24 pieces of cardstock, you get 48 sheets of paper. 48 cards, I mean. And this cardstock is the most fibrous of all. It has, this one and the black have lots of fibers. So sometimes it gets a little fibrous, or I might have to sharpen my blade. You know what I mean? Just look, a little bit of cotton fibers come off. The other ones don't have as much coming off. So sometimes I just go like that. and I get the fibers off, or I just use a little nail file on my trimmer. Okay, so I'm getting the fibers off. There we go. And I'm just using any spatula. You can use a spatula from your scan and cut machine. I'm just using a Paper Chef's scraping stone because it works for me when I make cards. Okay, that's what I'm using as my, for my, to square the cards. Okay, that's all we need. I didn't even put a sentiment on the inside of this card. We're just keeping it simple. We can put a sentiment on for when I do my sample. All right, I'm done with the scoring, the Simply Scored. And if you don't have a Simply Scored, that's also something you could put in your starter kit. But of course, you'd have to take something else out. So now we're going to take this trimmer, and I'm going to go ahead and do these little strips of designer series paper. And I repeated some of them. Let's see. Going to get my scraps. So some designer series paper had white on it, and the white did not look good on the white background. Like this piece didn't look good on the, so I used these designs mainly, and then with this other design. So let me find that piece. Just want to kind of repeat this card or similar. I'm just going to get a piece of scrap paper here, and we're going to use this. So to make this card, you're just going to use your scraps of paper. And because my card was 4 1/4, I'm going to have to use it that way, but that's fine. Because my card was 4 1/4 wide, then because the paper, remember, was 8.5 by 11, so it's 4 1/4 wide, an A2 card. Just look up A2 card, and if you're not sure. And then I'm going to make this strip 4 inches wide. So that leaves me 1/4 inch around it, right? It's 4 inches wide. All the strips are 4 inches wide, and they're 1 inch. They're going to be, I should say, 1 inch by 4 inches, okay? So 4 inches wide by 1 inch high. So we can go ahead and do the 1 inch right now. Don't mind me, I have 2 blades on my trimmer. I'm just gonna use, the top blade should be sharper. So what I wanna do is, there's a 1 inch mark there, and I wanna get my strips this way first. And then I'll cut them the other way. So I went, okay, 1 inch strips, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Since this one, it's not quite 4 across, I'd like the pattern to go that way, but I'm not going to be able to have it go that way, so I'm just going to turn it that way, and that's okay. So 1 inch. And then you can cut 3 pieces of designer series paper at once. So I'm going to put those in there, stack those up like that, and make those 4 inches across. And I repeated one of them because, like I said, just going back to this paper again, I tried other patterns. This one didn't look right on the white background, right? This side would look great, but I wanted the shiny sides. This side didn't look right unless you used a blending brush on it. So that's why I decided on using these patterns, because they looked really good on a white background for my sample card that I was making, because I wanted to show you how to make something simple with your starter kit material. All right, so now we are going to use our silicone mat, because I want to use everything in your starter kit. That's my goal is. And we'll even try to, okay, well, not the dies, but we'll even use the gems. Okay, so we'll put the card like that. We'll put it like that, and then we're going to just stamp. We're going to lay these out, because we're going to stamp, because if we mess up, then we're going to have to move. So what I'm going to do is stamp sending hugs, right? But we want to lay this out first, like here, like something like this. And then that way we know where to put the sending hugs. But if we mess up the sending hugs, then we can just start. Where's that other piece? Did I not cut enough of these? I think I need to cut. Oh, I should have some. That's why I cut some earlier. If we mess up the sending hugs, we're just going to cover it up with a strip of paper. And we're going to, just move on. It's no big deal. We'll put, like, if I do my sending hugs and I mess it up, then I go like that. And I move the strip up, right? And instead I put the sentiment somewhere else. So you don't want to adhere your designer series paper, because you might need to cover your mistakes. That's my little tip for you. I just need to cut some more of these little guys. I didn't cut enough because you need 4 of those. All right, so Seal Plus. I told you I would talk about the Seal Plus. Stampin' Seal Plus, I think, is better than Seal, because it leaves, I'm not going to adhere these yet, but I just want to show you some. I'm not going to actually adhere it down. It leaves these little ridges, and it's pretty cool. So it's very easy to use, and there's little ridges, and it's very easy to lift off. You see these little ridges? I hope the lighting is right. There you go. little ridges of tape. So that's what I like. It's very easy to handle. All right, so let's put that there, and then we're going to go ahead and stamp the sending hugs before I adhere that down. So I'm going to just open up the Evening Evergreen, which is part of your sample starter kit. Open it up like that. And there's little stickers on the back of it that if you want, you can put right there inside, like I like to do because I teach a lot on video. But other people, some of my team members say they put them on the front, or the back, like, and they want to see on the shelf the color. But I already know the color on the shelf because I have a marker that goes with it, and that's how I know what color it is on the shelf. All right, so now what I want to do is mount this onto the Stamping Block D, and we're going to mount Sending Hugs because I just think that's always a good stamp sentiment, right? It's always good to use. And to mount your stamp, I've already attached the sticker to it. You're going to put it sticker side up. I'm gearing this tutorial toward beginners because after all, it's called Starter Kit, right? So if you're just starting out with Stampin' Up, that's why I'm gearing this video to you. And you get Sending Hugs. This is good sticky material called cling stamps. So when you put them down and you push that onto it, it sticks really good. Now I'm going to tap, tap, tap. But before you stamp right onto your paper, I like to get a piece of scrap paper. And I just use like printer paper, like junky scrap paper for this. So I'm going to stamp onto it and make sure that I'm stamping, that I'm not wonky, right? Anyway, I need to put these there to see where it's going. These are kind of where I'm going to flip that over in a second. There we go. I'm just kind of getting the place where these need to be. And that's where my Sending Hugs needs to be. Yeah, Denise is saying she also prefers Seal Plus, right? Yeah, it's much better, I think, than the seal. Okay, so Sending Hugs worked out good. Now we're going to do the little leaf. So you're going to take actually, we can do the other card while we're at it too. That's what I recommend, doing more than one card at once. This one, I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm eyeballing where the center is because you can always use gems to help you. And let's put that up here on the silicone mat. You can always use gems to help you center things if they're not too centered. You can put like a little gems around it, some more leaves around it. Okay, so that's Sending Hugs. Now I'm done with that. So now I can pull this off. Okay, and don't wobble your stamp because if you do, you're going to get like a stamp shadow. This little part, if you wobble it, this kind of sentiment, you don't want to wobble. Okay, I'll wash that later. Now what I want to do is get the little leaf and I want to stamp off because I don't want the leaf to be really dark. So I'm going to use this leaf, stick that down, stick the stamping block there just to lift it up, and I'm going to tap, tap, tap here onto the Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to stamp onto the paper first. Okay, when you stamp onto the paper first, you get a lot of ink off your stamp, and then you can stamp onto your card. And it just looks nicer, I think. Not so dark and not so edgy. Edgy meaning there's not like little edges around it. So we'll do that. And then we'll do it to this other card too. Because we're making two at once. Why not? Did I stamp off? I don't remember now. So sometimes I don't remember what I did. So stamp off. It's like wax on, wax off. Stamp on, stamp off. Okay, that needs a little gem because I got a little bit of ink there. So that's where you put one of your garden gems. Okay, but that part is done and for later. And now I'm done with that and I can close my ink because that's the only ink we're going to use, that part. Okay, now, it's the only color of ink we're going to use for this card. So now we're going to just adhere those. So I've already got the seal on there. And I showed you the seal close up. So I start from the bottom and the top. So I do the top one and then I do the bottom one. So let's see what order we're going to do. We'll do, if I repeat my patterns, I kind of go like that. If I'm going to repeat that pattern, I'll do it like that. So then I'm going to put this one down next. And I'm not sure if that should go up. Nope, I like it down. I like it facing down. So I just felt like these were the best patterns to use for this, okay. Because you can see the foil. And then I'm just kind of centering it. And if you want this to be more forgiving, of course, you can use glue. Glue helps you move the papers around better. Okay, then we're going to do that one. So all you want is even space between the top two and the next two. The middle part doesn't matter if it's wider, because that's where you stamped onto. So it's just like you're putting the same amount of space between those two as you're putting between these two. That's why I'm working from the bottom up and the top down. See? Now I can put that there. And that is your simple card. Oops. Seals sometimes gets caught, so you have to be careful that you don't rip your paper. It's no big deal if you do. You just got to catch it again. But you don't have to do that check mark thing you had to do with the other one. All right. Everyone has their own adhesives they prefer. I mean, that's kind of what I know about crafters. We all prefer different things. Okay, now we're going to put a little bling on this one. Okay, I think I cut that paper a little bit too. I don't know. That one's just a little bit wider for some reason. But still looks good. And then we're going to take the bling from Garden Gems. We'll jazz both of these up at the same time. When I use, so you have the small and the bigger bling and then this size. So when I use bling, I just do things in threes. Let's see. Put that one there. I'm going to do three. I'm going to do this style next here. A little something like that. Okay. And then for this one I'll just do two of these. Oops. I'm going to make them a little more symmetrical, like up. Like they're kind of like little beams on this one. I'll do like little beams that help frame it. We'll put a little one above it. Little one. Sending hugs. And then this one, like I said, whenever you smudge a little bit of ink on that, that's when you can use your gems to cover that up. See? Perfect. I don't even have to know where I'm putting the paper yet, but that's where that gem's going because there's ink there. So I hope that makes sense, right? Very easy peasy. So I can even do this while I'm telling you. Okay, so it's benefits. Now I don't have to concentrate as much because we got the card done. And feel free to ask questions, like I said. So we'll do this one on the bottom this time. All right, so if you join, you get to be part of my team, which is called the Papered Chefs. And then you get to be part of my uplines team. So my uplines name is Hattie. She's been a demonstrator a lot longer than I have. I met her when we were both over in Germany. I met her at a craft fair. So when I joined her team, then I become her downline. She is my upline. And then she has a team called the Beehive, right? So when you become part of my team, the Papered Chefs, you're automatically a member of her team too, called the Beehive. So you get the insights from her. She has an actual stamping studio in person. She has an in-person stamping studio in South Carolina. She has events all the time in person and does lots of things in her studio. And then I have, I'm more of a virtual video person. So you have the benefit of getting training from both of us. And then she and her friends got together and do training for both our teams, both the Beehive team and their teams as well. A couple of her friends. That's called the OBC Business Builder. So anybody who wants to build a business, you're automatically on another team as well. So it's fun. So you get to be, so when you join my team, the Papered Chefs, you're automatically in a few Facebook groups is what I'm saying. Plus I have a VIP group. Now my groups, the Papered Chefs VIPs, all my groups, and maybe some of you are familiar with my Scan and Cut user group. Like all my groups have challenges, but my teams have lots of challenges. Like my team group, they have like, I think I cut that paper bigger than the others, but I'm not sweating it though. My team has loads of challenges. I'm going to put that one on top. So we do, I mailed it where they share cards that they made. Tech challenge where they do a video of something they unboxed. And all the challenges are for prizes. Like setting your goals for the year was one of the challenges that Linda took advantage of. So that's a special challenge I have. Plus, if you like get promoted to another level, then you can win prizes that way. I need to put one there. So there's lots of benefits like that. So team challenges with prizes. And then you get a 20% discount up to 25% discount. So you start out with a 20% discount. Everybody gets that. You start out as bronze in Stampin' Up, and everybody gets 20% off. And then you can work your way up to 25% off. That's the most you get off as a discount. That's what I get off, 25% off. But there's other ways to make extra money during promotions and things. They give you extra, not really money, it's like product credit. Like we had a celebration recently, and they let us all earn product credit. So even though we still got our 25% off and we were able to earn free items, we were able to earn free items, and then we were still able to get some product credit for if we made a certain amount of sales, which was really nice. So you can earn credit, and then you can use the credit. Like I save my credit, and I'm allowed to go to this event. So one of the benefits of joining is you get to go to events like On Stage, which is an event coming up next week, professional development event that we are allowed to sign up for, with lots of guest speakers from outside of our company. And there's personal development and lots of training and motivation. That needs 2 more bling. Whenever you do bling, do things in 3s. Lots of motivation. So, or do it in 5s. You don't have to just do 3s. You could do 5s. Like do odd numbers. So that's called On Stage. You're going to see probably a lot about that on social media. A lot of people are going to be posting what they're learning from On Stage. And lots of sneak peeks of new catalogs. Okay, so speaking of sneak peeks, if this were, if this catalog were the January catalog, for example, like in January 2022, a new catalog's coming out. Those of us that attend On Stage, we're going to get that catalog on November 11th. We're going to get to see it and start to order from it that same night. And then, so every time there's a catalog, we get it a month early. So just for example, I don't have the catalog, but say for example, this says January 2022. All demonstrators, if you go to events, you can order in November, for example. But if you don't even go to the events and you're a demonstrator, you're going to get to order in December for the January catalog. Super, super cool. It's called being able to pre-order and get products first. And that's one of the perks. All right, so I said discount, members of our teams. You get to be part of swaps. We have swaps in the Beehive where I'm going to be sharing my swaps next week. Well, hopefully next week as soon as I get them. So we trade cards. So if this was my swap, not every card would have to be exactly like, but this would be close enough. So say we did a swap and our rules are anything from the current catalog. Use Stampin' Up! Products. I'd put this in a bag with my name on the back, created by Kimberly Smith, the Papered Chef, and I would say I used the Eden's, the Eden's Garden Collection, and I might put the product number or something. I would say what products I used, and I put it on the back, I put it in a bag, and then I send, last time we had 19, I think it was, and I send them to this lady, Linda. She's one of the Beehive team members, and then she mails back. So I send her 19 of the same card, for example. There's 19 cards, and she sends them back, and I get 19 different cards back. Well, I get one of my own cards and 18 different ones, or something like that. But that's how a swap works. So we get to do that as part of our team, which is pretty fun. And random Happy Mail. I do random Happy Mail for my team and spoil them with prizes and things. And the random, I do say random because I don't have a set schedule. Kind of like my videos are random. My team Happy Mail is random. And they don't all get it at the same time. So they might post in the Facebook group, oh, thank you for the Happy Mail. And someone's like, oh, what Happy Mail? And then different people get it at different times, which makes it fun. And they get discounts on every time I have a workshop. So if I have a workshop like this Eden's Garden Collection, and I'm going to do a workshop, December, January workshop on this suite, then my team gets a discount. The Papered Chefs, they get a discount on all my workshops. Okay? And ongoing training, updates, and support. Okay, so there's just so many benefits of joining Stampin' Up! Let me show you now the cards I made in the last video, when the video was called the video was part of my Ink It Up series. And my Ink It Up series was how to stamp on cotton paper. And so I showed how to use the in colors and stamp on cotton paper. So now you're going to get to see with these 4 examples how to use every product from the collection in one card. And just how you can step up these cards a little bit. How you can take this kind of concept that has no inner layer and has no inner message. And I'm going to show you how to step it up another level by taking colored cardstock, which if you want, you could put this in your starter kit. This is a good thing to put in your starter kit. It's called the In Color 2021 to 2023 In Color Collection. And I know all these colors go together really well. Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent, because they're the In Color Collection. Polished Pink, Evening Evergreen, and Pale Papaya, because those 5 colors go together. So I know that when we have Evening Evergreen and Soft Succulent in that suite, that it's automatically going to go with these other colors in the In Color Collection. So this is what I did with it. I just took a little piece of paper and took my blending brush and I colored that in a little bit with Soft Succulent, the hello there, and just so you can see where these sentiments came from. See, all these sentiments, hello there, dear friend, all that stuff. So then I put the dies, I cut the dies, the edge dies, using the machine, and I did that in the video. If you're not sure how to use dies, check out that last video I did. I used this one, and I did the designer series paper on top and bottom, cutting this. And then this is that little banner here with some gold foil called Brush Metallic Cardstock. And this is the cotton paper, and I even embossed the cotton paper. So I hope you can see the embossing on the cotton paper. Okay, and then on the inside, that's called the Subtle 3D Embossing Folder. Dear friend, how are you? Okay, next card. Dear friend, how are you? Again, with the rectangle. Lots of bling. Lots of the different garden gems. And lots of gold. And then hello there on the inside. So again, inked it around with some blending brush. And then this here is called Tasteful Textiles 3D Embossing Folder. Hello, Betty. Hello, Denise. Hello. Let's see. She's saying very pretty. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Denise. Okay, let's see. This one is also the Tasteful Textiles 3D Embossing Folder. And I embossed that cotton paper again, so as a background. And then this time, instead of putting it on Evening Evergreen like I did here, put it on the, thank you, Robin. Thank you, I appreciate your comment. Please let me know if you have any questions, because I'm about to wrap up. So if you have any questions, let me know. And then there's the Soft Succulent with that in the inside. And this one, I was thinking like hanging gardens for this. I was going for the hanging garden look. And this glue took a while to dry on there. I won't lie. This cotton paper, I had to put a lot of glue on there to get it to stick and then let it dry. But once I let it dry, it didn't leave any stains. And then this one is my favorite, because what I did is I tried stamping straight onto my little sprigs. I did this little sprig here, and I tried stamping straight onto it. But then it got busy, so then I took a piece of white and put it over top. I like this one the best because it's the most layers. So the way I did this is I stamped on and off with the Soft Succulent, and then it's called distinctive stamping when you see all the shading. So I just went Soft Succulent down. Then I took Fresh Freesia down, put some Fresh Freesia in there. Pale Papaya down, maybe up and down. I might have even done it on the paper first. And then I actually cut it with my scissors. Yes, my scissors, because it would have been too hard to cut out with the scan and cut, because the edges were so like fuzzy and there weren't clear defined edges, and I had like little colors, and I put Wink Estella all over it, and it just came out so much fun. I also stamped the whole background in the cotton paper. I embossed the background. I put extra strips of design series paper. And the reason this one's my favorite, because that Fresh Freesia is that extra little pop of color. And I just thought that went well. Hi, Polly. So you see, that's just another thing you can do with this. So all 7 of these cards are things you can make straight away, as long as you have of course, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Then you can make all of these that I'm showing you straight away with your starter kit, if you get this in your starter kit. But of course, get whatever you want. And if you don't join Stampin' Up, you're still my customer. And if you join Stampin' Up and don't stay active, you just go back to being my customer. Nothing happens. You keep your starter kit. If you don't want to stay active, it's fine too. So really, there's really no downside to it. it's a win-win for everybody. So, hope to see you on my team. I'm just checking if there's any questions, which I don't see, but please ask them later because I will go in and check on YouTube. That's all for now. This is the Papered Chef.